Hey, brothers, you're listening to Home Bar Happy Hour. We're talking about Hobo Squirrels. We're talking about Black Ops 6. And we're talking about Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Let's roll, America.
All right, let's entertain indeed. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Home Bar Happy Hour. We bring happy hour to you. My name is Joe, and that is Chef Gus. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by the Home Bar. If you like hanging out, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube or leave us a review on the podcast service of your choice. Our episode today is sponsored by buyblacket.com, but we'll tell you about that a little bit later. For right now, let's jump right into it, Mike. I'm excited to talk about Hobo Squirrels, Black Ops 6, and Gladiator. But how are you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm starting to pack up here for hunting camp next week.
Oh yeah, gonna get you a deer.
I'm hoping to get a couple. I got both my antler and my antlerless, so
nice.
I'm coming home with some meat.
Yeah,
hopefully. But it's good. It's always a good time just to get up there and just sit in the woods. But we'll talk about that next week with our Thanksgiving Day special.
All right.
But yeah, man, it's just like warm. So that's about it, brother. That's all I'm doing. How about them birds last Thursday, man?
Man, good. Well, I was going to say good game. It was a boring game for most of the game, but the game itself was really well. I think the Eagles did a great job. Like, definitely a needed win, and they pulled it off. Not even pulled it off, but pretty commanding win. It was a good one.
I knew it was going to be. I knew it was going to be a close game, but we were going to end up coming out. I didn't think that we were going to go up by two possessions.
Yeah.
It was very commanding going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what helped, these Thursday night games always kind of suck because the guys only have, 4 days of recovery, right? They're coming right off a Sunday. I think both teams traveled. At least the Washington might have just had to travel from home to Philly, but it was still some travel. We had to go, obviously, all the way from Dallas. So, you just don't have much recovery time, but the one thing I noticed that I thought our team did like perfectly, the defense just absolutely did what they needed to do. They held Washington, throughout the first half and into the third quarter to wait for our offense to come alive. And that's like kind of an issue we've been having. Like the offense is not like commanding throughout the entire game. They typically, either takes them a little bit to get going or they flash out really quick. But the defense just being able to keep it containable throughout the whole first half, because we were down by a field goal, a touchdown through most of the first half, but just holding them there, waiting for Saquon and Jalen Hurts to come alive. And man, it was great. It was awesome. And then once they came alive, man, they came alive.
I felt bad for Jake Elliott. I mean, we're finally opting into, kicking field goals.
Right.
And now he was like, are you kidding me? I can't make a field goal to save my life at this moment. So hopefully he turns it around here. He has the guy's been cold. He's been like, they haven't kicking points almost all year. It's,
Yeah. I mean, it was cold last Thursday night too, right? Anytime there's a game like, outside, at night, in November, it's a tough one to kick, right? Like he's getting up there, he's a little older. I don't think we should fire him right away, but it was definitely disappointing to see him miss. I mean, he missed a point extra attempt too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's never good.
Yeah, so you left two 3-point field goals and an extra point, so you left 7 points out in the field.
Yeah.
So
sure.
It's just as long as you keep on getting better and you keep on, you move on, and that's like the key. You got to move on in the NFL. So we all know, everybody knows that. But
So, what about the other big sporting event that happened this weekend, Mike? Did you get a chance to watch the Jake Paul Mike
I
Tyson
did.
fight?
I
How
did.
what'd you think of that?
I thought the women's match was insane.
Holy
That was
cow! Right,
I
dude,
was
that was
like, dude,
awesome.
it was awesome. I loved it. That was like
Yeah,
that, like the women really showed the men how like, and I understand like there's a science to boxing and stuff like that. I totally get it. But man, did those two women did they want to win or what?
oh,
Good for
dude,
them, man.
it was, I think the main event kind of sucked, and we can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But the undercards were all pretty good. Give it up to Jake Paul and his organization there for putting on a good night of fighting in spite of the main event. And that one coming right before the main event, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, was just incredible match, an incredible fight. And that's what, it feels like that's what everyone has been kind of talking about the week afterwards. I personally think Amanda Serrano was absolutely robbed. That girl should have won that fight.
Yeah.
I can't believe she lost it, but those things happen. I'm not a boxing judge, so maybe they saw some things I didn't, but that seems to be the general consensus I've been reading is that, that girl fighting through, landing more punches with a bloody eye should have been the one that won the fight.
The UFC matches on Saturday were pretty good too.
I didn't catch any of those. Were they good?
Yeah, they were pretty good. It's funny now because now the UFC and WWE are under the same company. Triple H and Stephanie
Right.
McMahon were there.
Oh, yeah, I did see them hanging out, having a
Yeah.
good time.
But yeah, other than that, that's about it for me with the sport. I mean, like, dude, the Steelers knocking off the Ravens. I mean, I
big
knew
win
that.
for them.
Yeah, that was a huge win for them. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Joe. that really blew their heads up.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh my god, dude, come to reality. Like,
yeah.
But well, hey, whatever. To each your own. I'm impressed with them. But as does every fan base, like their heads, oh, we could take down the Ravens. We can take down anybody. Okay, all right.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Just tell me where I can get fresh pierogies in this area.
Yeah, that's all I really want to know.
I don't want to go to the grocery store for some half-assed Mrs. T's. That's all I want. But speaking of like outside of this, dude, the squirrels have taken over my yard, bro. I spent some good money on these pumpkins, and like just to keep out there for Halloween and for these motherfuckers dug into the pumpkin, scratched in there, ate the entire inside, and used it as a home.
Yeah, that's what they do. They're burrowers.
Yeah, they definitely burrowed into the what the hell? It was like, hey, thanks for the F Shack. Love Dirty Mike and the boys. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, can't have anything nice, man. They ripped my corn off the stalks, and they're going to be all fat and sassy this winter. That's all I got to say.
They sure are. Yeah, you're feeding them good. That's why they're all coming around. You set them up with a nice shack for them to get in, and it's made of food. That's perfect for these squirrels. They love it, man.
Yeah, dude. So they love that pumpkin, man. They hauled both those sons of bitches out,
dude. I stopped putting out pumpkins because of that. Because as soon as they're out, the squirrels just go right to it. It's out like a day, and the next morning, overnight, they've burrowed out, taken out all of the pumpkins, then it just starts rotting. It's gross.
Yeah, well, that's what's shocking about it is that they weren't rotting. That the first one that I carved up, that started rotting, and they didn't even have nothing to do with it.
Well, I mean, it'll start rotting usually after the squirrels get in it, right? Yeah. That's what was happening to mine. Once the squirrels got in it, then it started rotting out.
I didn't waste no time. I just picked them up and threw them in the burn pit.
Yeah. Yeah, get rid of them.
I'm not trying to scoop that up like I did last year. I was like, they're dead already? I'm like, they totally caved in. I was like, what a waste of money. I don't even know if I'm going to get pumpkins next year. Who knows?
I wouldn't do it.
I'm just going to go for the plastic shit.
Yeah. Yep, they hold up.
Well, is it, since we got, Thanksgiving next week, I mean, I guess it's everybody's starting to decorate for Christmas. So, I mean, I'm not ready for it. It feels like the fall is really taking off now. and
You mean
before
with
you know
people
it,
decorating and stuff, or just like the
yeah,
Christmas season?
I'm not gonna. I'm well, both. Like people like decorating right now. I get it. I feel like I probably will throw up my tree next week because right after Thanksgiving, I'm going to be gone for like a whole week, and
Yeah,
that's like so. And then by that time, like 2 weeks later is like Christmas. So it's like if I'm going to decorate, I'd like to have it up for for like at least like 4 weeks.
yeah,
Does that make sense? I don't want
yeah.
to put it up and then got to take it down. Like, what's the sense?
Yeah, Christmas stuff is getting like earlier and earlier, and it's like, I mean, it's getting like a tad bit ridiculous. Like they start putting out the Christmas stuff with the Halloween stuff now, um,
Oh
and
yeah, like Costco putting Christmas stuff out in like September.
yeah, and there's already been two Christmas movies released in theaters so far this year. Red One came out last week, and the weekend before that, literally a week to the day after Halloween, that Pete Holmes Christmas movie, the best Christmas pageant ever, came out in theaters. And I'm like, it is
Oh,
literally 1 week past Halloween, and that starts the Christmas season. I wish that they would, you know, move it past and let's like leave Christmas decorations just outside a little longer. Let's have like, a bit of, you got your Halloween and then we can have our Thanksgiving. Let fall have its area, because after Christmas ends, you got New Year's and then you have like nothing. You just have like, the dread of winter until spring finally comes around. You've got
yeah.
like all these holidays back to back at the end
Oh,
of the
dude,
year. Then the
bro, but
beginning of the year is nothing until Easter.
Pro, what do you mean we got nothing, man? You got the NFL postseason. You got hockey. Well, yeah, we got hockey and we got basketball.
Yeah, talk about the Sixers. I'm not even
Yeah,
wearing my
we're not.
Sixers hat anymore. They're
I'm
so
not,
garbage.
dude. I don't even know what to do with my Embiid jersey, to be honest with you. But
Yeah,
outside of that, I typically, yeah, I just leave my. I'm like, I don't take my decorations down until after New Year's,
yeah.
and
I
then
don't either. But I mean, leave your Christmas decorations up until February, but don't put them up until after Thanksgiving. That
I
that
think
would be my.
I think my two next besides sports, I would feel would be my birthday. Last year it sucked because my birthday it's just dude having birthdays in the winter are the absolute worst. But maybe it's a good thing because then you could just like vanish and just go to a tropical paradise.
Yeah, that's not a
But
bad plan. Get away from the.
and then St. Patty's Day, of course,
Yes, you got
and
St. Patrick's Day.
yep, and then after that you got WrestleMania.
You got
But
WrestleMania. Yeah.
one good thing, just for me being Catholic, the Latinal season is one of my favorites. When that time comes around, you'll
Oh.
understand why, because it's just about. For me, I love going with the Irish Catholics and just fish and chips, man. Just eating fish, drinking beer. It's great. It's the best. It's the
All
best,
right.
Jerry. The best.
I did not know you were such a fan of Lent, that it was one of your favorite holidays.
Well, I just like I said, like I just keep my religion private or personal to myself, and I don't like
Yeah.
putting it on everybody else. So it's
Yeah,
just like
I
your
hear ya.
freedom of religion. But
Makes sense.
speaking about religion, dude, Black Ops 6. Have you
Oh,
played
yeah.
it yet?
I have been playing the campaign. I saw you put the zombies mode up. I touched the zombie mode. I maybe played for about an hour. But I have been like really enjoying the actual like single player campaign of Black Ops 6. I actually
Yeah.
wrote an article for it from my website. I'll probably put a link in the description if anyone wants to read it. But the Black Ops 6 campaign just plays like a Marvel movie, and it is super sick. What about you, Mike? Have you been playing it a lot?
I've been playing the zombies a lot.
Okay.
So maybe you and I are gonna have to do some. We're gonna have to link up here and play a few. What do you got? PlayStation or?
I got it all, man. I'm a capital G gamer. I got the I
You're
got
the
the
OG.
yeah, I got the Xbox, the PlayStation, the Nintendo. I got a little Steam Deck. I'm always on. But yeah, I'd love to play through some zombies with you. That would be
Oh,
great.
dude, I love just mowing down zombies, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I it's such a obviously I feel like it's a continuation off of Cold War,
Yes, it is for sure.
and yeah, and but it's such a refreshing switch because Modern Warfare 3 was absolutely the worst that they've ever put out.
It certainly was. It was total dog shit. That game
Yeah.
was like brutally bad.
They nearly ended my. I just had zero interest in like ever like purchasing another game.
Yeah,
Fortunately enough for myself, like I have Game Pass, so I have it
big
just
deal.
because I like to play like the old school games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just by myself, like that's kind of where the direction that I'm heading into. And even without that, like I feel like I just want to get a Nintendo Switch. That way, when the kids come around, they can play like Mario Kart and stuff like that. Plus, I can access all the old Nintendo games that I used to once play when I was a kid.
Yeah, I will say I like for the money, the Nintendo Switch is probably like the best video game console to have. It doesn't have, all of the streaming apps or whatever, but if you have a smart TV, you don't need that. Just for like game by game, like the Nintendo Switch absolutely rules. And like you said, I think it's like $50 for the year, and you get access to like tons of Nintendo, original Nintendo, Super
Yeah.
Nintendo. They have Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64 games on there now, Game Boy, Game Boy Advanced. It's pretty great. It's a really incredible console. I mean, if
If it wasn't for the fact that I want to stay in touch with gaming just on the fringe of
yeah,
gaming.
I
That
feel you.
way that way, just staying up to date with technology and stuff like that, because I want to play virtual reality, immersive virtual reality uh gaming when that comes. What is it? Ready Player One. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I want to just be
I
in
was
that
like,
world.
I want to. That's what I was like. Before I leave this planet or enter the 10 feet down in the ground, I want to be I want to be immersed in an awesome gaming, like something like that. Like I know it's coming.
I don't, I don't love the VR. Like there's, PlayStation has a VR headset and there's like the Oculus and stuff, the MetaQuest or whatever. It like makes me nauseous. Like I don't like being stationary and then like looking around and feeling like I'm walking. I don't know, man. It
Yeah,
throws off my equilibrium, but some people love it. Some people, swear by it.
if they had more like I feel like it was just that's like the next evolution of gaming between Xbox at Microsoft and Sony, and like they're going to be I feel like they're going to be getting away from the console and then going more to virtual reality and immersible video gaming.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see what happens. It's been, consoles are like so iterative right now. Like we're 4 years past the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, and there's like, I mean, just a handful of games that won't run on your PlayStation 4 that only run on the PlayStation 5. It's like kind of wild when you think about it. Like
Yeah.
there's not even a reason almost to, like you could just go buy a PlayStation 4 for $150 or whatever instead of the new PlayStation that costs 700 and play like 99% of the games out there for PlayStation.
Well,
It's
until they start cutting the servers.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure they will eventually.
But dude, speaking of movies, man, Gladiator 2 coming out here on Friday.
Yes, sir. I actually got to see it. I went to an early screening on Monday night, and it is pretty great. How do you feel about the first Gladiator, Mike? That's what I want to
I
ask.
loved it. I
Yeah,
loved it. It was such a great movie.
yeah, it was awesome. This is like more Gladiator. It is very much a sequel to it. Has a lot of the same things. Has some ridiculous gladiator battles. They show this off in the trailer a little bit. Um, and I don't know the historical accuracy of this. I can't imagine it's true. But for one of the fight scenes, they fill the Coliseum up with water and they're like running boats into each other and shooting arrows at each other. And I'm just thinking of like, it's literally like two warships coming out. I'm thinking about like everyone in the stands as they're just like shooting arrows. I'm like, you're going to have all these spectators catching stray arrows out here.
I
You know
know,
what I
right?
mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
Did they say, "Are you not entertained"?
he says like something so close to it, like he doesn't use the exact same words, "Are you not entertained?" But he says like, are you not impressed or something, and you're like, okay, we get what you're doing here, we understand. There's a scene where he like picks up the dirt, the same way Russell Crowe did. We're like, all right, yeah, we get it, you're Gladiator too. But it was great. Denzel Washington's in it, and
Yeah.
he is sick. He's an awesome character in that flick.
That's good. That's good. He did say that he was going to be coming back to do Equalizer 4 and 5.
All right, bring it
Yeah,
on.
this time he's going to be. I guess he really wants to go after real bad guys,
Yeah,
not
that
not
sound.
not like insiders and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
But TV shows. I just finished up The Penguin. Very
Yeah,
good. If you're in the gangster stuff, gotta watch, especially like gangster slash like Batman Origins and stuff like that. It's definitely a good TV show to
yeah.
watch.
I finished up the Penguin as well. Big fan of it. Crazy how they just totally transformed Colin Farrell. I know they did that for the movie too, but he is unrecognizable as the Penguin. Just like doesn't even look like the same actor.
I know.
Pretty crazy. And the girl, I think her name's Kristen Melody.
Yeah,
Melody.
she played in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep. And How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
She's fantastic. Like she's an incredible actress, and she's really good in that show. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if she got nominated for Emmys or whatever those awards are for TV shows.
I do like how it's being set up because if you caught on to it, like when he was in the courthouse or in the chambers, the mayor's chambers there, like he was already looking at it because like that's a part of the Penguin's origins is that he wants to run for mayor.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole thing. But I also like a lot of the egg. What are the Easter eggs in it? Like they brought up Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
They have what's her name that you were talking about? They have her back at Arkham, and
Mm-hmm.
they use the same Arkham cells as that they have the Riddler and the Joker in.
Yep.
And then what else? Oh, the Colin Farrell. Well, I thought they were really good at depicting him as a penguin. Right
Mm-hmm.
there at the end, like
Yeah.
that's where. But after that, like he's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be it's going to be similar to his camera time was in the Batman.
In the first one.
Yeah, in the Batman 2, which comes out in 2026, he's going to be as much screen time in it or less, like
Yeah.
somewhere between not cameo but cameo.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So let me ask you, Mike, who's a better Penguin, Colin Farrell or Danny DeVito?
Oh, Colin Farrell.
Yeah. You didn't
Oh,
like
yeah.
Danny DeVito as the Penguin?
No, it was
Okay.
I didn't really care for Batman Returns.
Oh no, you're not a fan.
No, I just didn't like the Penguin portrayal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I dig that movie. It's one of my favorite movies to watch around the Christmas time.
It is a Christmas movie.
Yep. Christopher Walken's in it. It's good.
The other show, Yellowstone. I don't know if you were into that. Are you?
I have not watched any Yellowstone. I've heard lots of good things. Kevin Costner is back, baby, apparently. But tell me all about it. I'm ready to be sold on Yellowstone.
I'm telling you, Joe, it's very addicting. Your wife watches it, doesn't she?
She does. I just bought her the new season because it's only on like cable. But if you buy it on Prime or Fandango or whatever, the new episodes will just show up.
Yeah. The Beth is probably one of the most fiercest women. Her character is like she's just a fierce woman. I'm like,
Okay.
I would never want to fuck with her.
Yeah.
And like, even if you're nice to her, she just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like
right.
she's like so I mean, it's not somebody I would want to hang around with. It's just I don't think those type of people.
Yeah.
No, I just don't. No, you don't get stabbed. They're not villains, but
Okay.
she's very assertive. She's very assertive and powerful and like a dominant and like she doesn't take apologies from anyone. She doesn't give a shit. She just doesn't give a shit. She'll just tell you whatever's on her mind. And but it's pretty good because a lot of the people that are in there absolutely deserve the shit she spills that she does.
Yeah.
And then Rip is another dude I don't want to fuck with or be around. Like that dude is just like fuck that, man. I respect them. I respect all like there's definitely cattle farmers, cowboys out there, and I respect everything that they do. And basically, it just goes around uh, what it takes to farm cattle
Yeah,
to put a steak on to put beef on your table. It takes a lot.
it's a tough life. I don't think I could do it.
I can tell you right now, I can't do it. Like, dude, you go from Montana and you go down to Texas, and it's just even worse.
Yeah.
And it's a rough life, man. And I respect those guys that do it. Like, that's a passionate thing there, and I mean, I respect them. And
I respect them too. And here at Home Bar Happy Hour, we are all about respecting the heartland. If you didn't know, this is the Home Bar Happy Hour. Every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we bring happy hour to you. This episode is brought to you by buyblacket.com, and we're going to tell you all about that right now. This episode of Home Bar Happy Hour is brought to you by buybeckett.com. Head over to buybeckett.com/home bar happy to shop their happy hour line of clothing and gifts. They have cool t-shirts, sweatshirts, and fun coffee mugs that lets everyone know you care about the important things in life, like happy hour. And if you use our link, you can get 15% off your first order. Buy Beckett has a ton of great clothing and accessory options, from their happy hour line to their veteran first line. Mike and I are both vets, and we love showing our support for the troops with a cool mug or a funny t-shirt. They have some really great stuff, and you will not be disappointed. So head over to buybeckett.com/home bar happy, or use the link in the description for 15% off your first order. Help support the show and get yourself some great stuff. That's buybeckett.com/home bar happy, or use the link in the description. All right. So we talked about the squirrels taking over. We talked about Black Ops 6. What else you got for us today, Mike?
Joe, what are some things basically everyone did a decade ago that are extremely embarrassing now?
You know what is like one thing that I was like thinking about, that at least like when I was growing up was like the cool thing, and probably the same for you. I'm sure it was, because we both did it, was smoking. Like, dude, everyone smoked cigarettes, and that was like the
Yep.
cool thing to do. And now, dude, like if you smoke a cigarette, people are like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're like a leper if you walk around with a cigarette hanging out of your mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like embarrassing, but that was the first thing that like popped to my mind, was like, man, nobody smokes anymore. It's just like totally gone away.
None of you Americans ever smoke anymore.
That is true.
I'm trying to think of some stuff there from definitely choice of grocery shopping foods. Back in the 80s and 90s was more like shelf stable type of food, more shelf stable food. Everything was frozen, like frozen TV dinners. So many preservatives and stuff like that. So it's like, if you were to come into my house and I were to make you something that that was like Stouffer's or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think, me personally, I would be kind of embarrassed to do anything like that. But I mean, maybe that's just me. Other things probably would be, man, bowl cuts.
Oh, bowl cuts. Yeah. Oh, those are awful.
Bowl cuts. Maybe like I don't know. You could probably get away with wearing some Jordan pumps.
You know what, Jordan?
Reebok pumps.
The one thing I was thinking about, and this is probably about 20 years ago, because this is when I was like, maybe more than 20 years ago, because I remember it being big when I was in like elementary school into middle school. Do you remember the Jenko jeans? Those
Yes.
really, dude, those are the stupidest looking clothes now.
I know.
You look at
dude,
them,
I'm like, dude, I said the same thing to myself. Them with pogs, and I'm like, what the hell were we thinking?
dude, we were so dumb. People would wear like, the style was so outrageous, right? It was these huge jeans, and then dudes would wear like the tightest t-shirts on top of it. So you'd have, guys wearing like extra small t-shirts with these giant baggy jeans that you could fit like 3 children inside. It was just a wild time.
Oh, and then, dude, I used to wear Converse, and I was made fun of because I was wearing Converse, and I'm
Really?
like, yeah, and then they're
Converse
like,
are classic.
yeah, they're like, I was like like a hobo, like a poor man, like I can't like because I can't like, oh, you don't have Nikes, you're fucking poor. I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? I live over in Carsonville. I
Yeah.
mean, like, dude, I'm sorry that I don't have a fucking rich family.
There was
Like,
a kid on our basketball team that would wear Converse to play basketball in, which like I get that those were created as basketball shoes, but we've come a long way in basketball sneaker technology, and those shoes should not be used to play basketball anymore. Get yourself some Jordans or something.
if I was to transport back in time, I would want to go back as like if I were to transfer my subconscious into my younger self back then,
Yeah.
I would have probably been like kicked out of school because I would have been just merciless, like just being a dick to people.
Yeah.
Uh, like what the fuck's it to you, man? And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Well, we're not going to get into it because I could get really below the belt on some of these guys. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not sucking dad's dick for fucking money, you know? Oh, just, it's just the ungrateful people, you know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like those of us who, grew up with less, cherish what we have more today.
True that.
Some people like those who grow up with a lot, like they expect a lot growing, as they go older in life. They don't
Yeah.
understand, like, they don't understand, they can't, they don't, they, I feel like a lot of people don't have the ability to be able to stretch out $1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stretch out $10. Like I can go to 10 down if I needed to. God forbid, if I ever needed to, I could take $10 down and I could stretch that fucker out and make a fucking pot of soup for the week.
Yeah. One thing that went away, that was probably about 20 years ago, went away and is back now, and I'm actually happy it's back now, are corduroys. I love a good corduroy.
Corduroys?
I love a good corduroy pants. I like it to sound like zippers when I'm walking down, just I love corduroys, man. I'm so glad they're back. I was at Urban Outfitters and I was looking at all these clothes, and I was talking to my wife and I was like, are these like what the kids wear now? I'm like, because corduroys are in, and she's like, no, it's for millennials that think they're kids. And I was like, oh, so people like me, people that'll spend $45 on a Linkin Park t-shirt.
What? Oh my God, don't you see what's happening here? What? There's only just a thin pair of corduroy pants between us and him. Like, I'm out there and I'm loving every minute of it, Jerry. What did he say? He's like, I'm like a Norwegian beach boy or whatever. That was fucking Swedish boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was funny. Not to change the subject or anything, but
we
were just talking about going back and I just went to go get some more ammo and stuff like that. Plus, I was like perusing around to see if I wanted to get a new hunting rifle or stuff. Man, it was the prices were just a little salty, and I don't really need one, but if they had a good deal, I probably would have bought one.
Yeah.
But I always it just popped into my head. It was like when we were walking into it was always, remember when it was we were in the Army and it was I would always be with the rest of my kind,
sure,
6s and 7s and lieutenants and stuff, and I remember we just got out of the NCO meeting, we're all walking to chow. And we're walking in there, and it was just, we were like a pack of bandits, man. And we walk into the chow hall, and I open up the door, and fucking Ransom, Ron Gun Club on deck, dude. Oh my God, I started pushing like Lou and Steve. And I'm like, Lou was like, get the hell off me. And like, he was like trying to, I was like, the first time I thought Lou was going to throw fists at me. And it was like, because nobody wanted to go through the door. Yeah. It was so funny. We were like talking, like Ransom always had some of the greatest shit, like calling us the Bandits and Loser Company and the Rod and Gun Club. And now everywhere we go, like you see a sign, like my buddy always like, I don't know, they run into, I've actually seen a Rod and Gun Club sign somewhere. I forget. But it's always when I'm driving, and I'm not into picking up my phone and taking snaps or pictures or
Yeah,
texting
that's how you
while
get
I'm on the
pulled over.
move.
Get yourself a
It's how you
ticket.
get, yeah, not just that, it's how you get into an accident.
Yeah.
But and then there was, remember when we went up to Grayling, Michigan on that big run?
Yeah.
And then I
Oh yeah.
was like, and I told you guys, it was like, well, it was like that unit was what they were leaving, and we were just picking up all their stuff, and they were like, oh, just find yourself a bunk up there. Where all the, I'm like, find us a bunk. This is straight chaos up here. That was like,
It
what is this
was.
fucking? What is this? What is this? Bourbon Street? I was like, dude, it was just like one big giant block party and shit, like all these barracks. I was like, dude, nobody's gonna get any sleep up here.
It
And
was
it was like,
insane. Yeah.
that's when I was like, dude, I'm just gonna go back to the truck, let the guys know, hey, we're gonna leave first thing in the morning. When we get back, when we run at their next stop, then we'll have like access to the showers and stuff like that where you can use. I
Dude,
was like,
they were treating those barracks like they were soldiers on their last day at Vietnam. Like
I know, right?
it was insane at that place. I do remember like walking through, and it's just like people are hanging off of rafters, drinking in the streets. I'm like, what is going on here,
Well,
dude?
also when you open up the door, it was like a Western saloon. Everybody's just like, "Who's this?" All like shot glasses are dropping, and the guy on the piano stops playing, and
Right.
the all the women up there with the like things are all like looking down at you, like, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
Yeah.
well, fuck that. And plus, I know what it's like. I don't feel comfortable leaving my stuff laying around. People like, dude, thieves, little,
Yeah, especially those
thieves,
savages.
rats. Yeah, those hairy little ratons. Dude, it was, yeah. But it was funny when Mark came back and he was like talking about, he's like, dude, this fucking place. He's like, he fucking went down to the shower and he had like a fucking light bulb peering up after there was no lights in the shower, and he's like in a shower, and all of a sudden he just sees the shadow of his dick. he's like Grayling, Michigan, where the dick shines bright in the ambient light. I hope he gets the chance to watch this episode. He's going to crack up laughing on that one.
Yeah. That was a ransom special.
Speaking of the male genitalia, Barstool Sports had provided a good news article down in Philadelphia, and well, not just Philly, but it's in New Jersey. A man sues Frontier Airlines after leaving flight with a disfigured penis. Sean Miller was flying home from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, when he spilled the scalding drink, which was filled to the brim. He spilled hot tea on his lap. On Frontier Airlines, you're ordering hot tea?
Dude, never. This just a PSA from Home Bar Happy Hour. Never, ever order the coffee or the tea on an airplane. I don't know if you know how, little inside baseball for you from someone that works, in the aerospace industry. They just have these big giant water tanks on the plane. Those things get cleaned at most every 6 months. So they just have water just sitting in there for months and months. And that's what they use to make your coffee and your tea. You should actually be glad that the water in that tea was, scalding enough to burn your junk, because that gets all the 5 months of, airplane bacteria juice out of it. They boiled that away. But yeah, dude, do not order anything off of an airplane unless it comes from a bottle or a can. Like, you don't want to be putting any of those beverages inside of you.
This is what gets funny. The Philadelphia Flyer was left with third-degree burns and disfigured scars on his penis and testicles after spilling hot tea on his lap during the Frontier Airlines flight. It causing highly unsightly and embarrassing discoloration on his penis and scrotum and testicles. What?
Change colors.
Significantly decreased sensation in his penis. That's some hot fucking tea, man. What the fuck? As soon as the plane landed in Philadelphia on September 20th, an ambulance met Miller, 56, on the ground. He was rushed to Jefferson Medical Hospital Burn Center, treated for severe third-degree burns. Due to the tightly situated plane seat configuration, Mr. Miller was unable to get up from his seat after the spill and instead was trapped in agonizing pain while his body was being burnt.
Man.
Miller also suffered a herniated disc while writhing in agony in the constraining setting. What? Jesus! You suffered a herniated disc from like, I'm sorry, man. I find this very hard to believe. Like, I understand that, like, you can burn yourself, but like, you're like, what are you wearing? Like spandex? Like,
I don't know, man, dude. If it, if that tea is over like 130 degrees, like that's gonna burn you like instantly.
But
you know,
130 degrees, like, why would you serve that? Like, what? Like, isn't it going to be hot? The cup's going to be hot on the carrying. Like, what is she carrying?
That's why they're suing them. They shouldn't serve it to them that hot. They need to regulate the temperatures in there.
I feel like Jackie Childs is behind this one as the litigator.
Yeah,
and this
Bring
is definitely
the
like
best.
this is definitely Frontier Airlines is going to offer this man lifetime complimentary tea and coffee cold.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought that was like, what the hell?
I mean, it's one of those things. And the same thing, remember the hot coffee thing at McDonald's? I mean, this was probably 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Girl sued McDonald's because she burned her legs on their coffee. But she had like third degree. It was the same thing. She had to get like skin grafts and everything done to her legs. Like it was scalding. It burned through her flesh. It was a big deal.
Yeah. I just still, I don't know, man. Like that. I feel like that dude, he already was suffering from a lot of things prior to this. And I feel like this was just, I don't know.
I don't think you should order, I'll say this, any, fast moving vehicle where there's a opportunity for turbulence or, random shaking.
Yeah.
You shouldn't order a super hot beverage, like get yourself something cold, get yourself, something that's not going to leave you permanently disfigured if you were happen to,
Jesus.
drop it while you're flying 170 miles through the air. Right. Like,
yeah. Where the hell did they cook this thing off of? The engine? Like,
maybe.
Holy hell.
I don't know how they do it, but also like altitude like changes how things boil, right? Like water boils differently at higher elevations and stuff. So that's probably part of it. It boils quicker, it gets hotter quicker. I don't really know. I'm not a scientist. We won't go to the science.
I mean, I feel like the only thing that I'm ordering on the plane on my flight travels is just like a Diet Coke. Or Tito's and Sprite.
Tito's. I'm a ginger ale man when I'm on flights. Occasionally, I might get an alcoholic beverage, but
occasionally I will have an alcoholic beverage.
Occasionally, I had one work trip. I was flying from Wichita to Philadelphia. It was me and another guy flying home from Wichita. So we get to the Wichita airport about an hour and a half before our plane arrived. And it had just been a crazy week. This was a Friday. And the Wichita airport has a brewery in the airport, like close to our terminal. So we sat down, we had a beer while we're waiting. Well, our flight kept getting delayed. So a 5-hour delay later, we've just been drinking in this Wichita brewery for 5 hours. I was absolutely hammered on that plane ride home. I tell you what, it was like a rocket. I don't even remember that flight. Just sat down and ended up home. But that's like, that was like the only time I've been just like absolutely wrecked on an airplane.
Yeah. I've been pretty banged up on an airplane before.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the bandits and I were going down to Atlanta for a bachelor party.
The hot Atlanta.
Yeah, because it was like 5:00 in the morning, and I was like, well, there's no better time than the present. Let them rip. I just the bartender was just like, I don't know if you ever flew out of Jersey, out of Trenton, but yeah, they don't have a big. It's just like a little holding area for everyone and a small little bar. And man, it was like nobody was at that bar. It was like, line them up.
Yeah, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning, right?
Goddamn right. And then I forget, there was a few times I'll have like a couple in the airport before I get on the plane, but I guess you're right. Yeah, I would prefer to be with other people rather than traveling by myself
Yeah.
and drink. Like you know what I mean. I just gotta keep my wits about me.
Yeah.
But man,
Fair enough.
when the wheels are down, the tops are up.
Oh
I think it was
man.
like, dude, it was when I flew down to Florida the one time. I was the first one to get down there, and they were like, "Oh, like, all right, well, let me drop my daughter off, and then after that, then that's it. I'll come pick you up." And I was like, "All right." He's like, "I'll be there in like an hour and a half." I'm sorry. I was like, "Dude, that's fine. I got my Uber ride, took her right to the local sports bar, and man, did I tie on a load right there, man. I just came in
get
with
it
my
going.
luggage, just put it right there. I was like, I want the tallest draft Miller Lite you got.
Come on, barkeep.
Yeah,
We're here for vacay.
Yep, let's roll.
All right.
But before we close out here, Joe, let's give a little bit of how much time we have left here.
We got some time.
Oh yeah, we got some time. What outfit or qualities immediately identify someone as a creep, even before they've opened their mouth?
I really don't like sweater vests. I think sweater vests are weird.
Sweater vests.
Yeah, like it's just like a sweater
like
with
the sweater
no
comes over.
sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a big fan of those. You look like Doug Funny.
Okay.
Don't like them.
I feel like you could get away with a few of them. I typically like to wear them when I'm around the family for the holidays.
Okay.
Just with like a a nice shirt, like a nice button down shirt to go with it. But I always go with like a dark, just your neutral dark gray V cut with a button down. I don't know. It just looks nicer. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just me. I haven't worn one in a while.
Yeah.
For me, it would definitely have to be. Have to be. I don't know if you'd be a creep, but up there it would have to be the flat brim hat. And I'm not backwards. I'm not talking about like the sports flat brim. I'm talking about like your standard like a hat that's supposed to have a roll to it, but it's like flat brim, or if it's like if it's too big for your head.
Yeah.
And you look like you're about to, go up and play the outfield in the Sandlot.
I think it depends. White people can't pull that off, right? Then you end up looking like Malibu's Most Wanted if you're rocking that.
Or Short Round from Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would think also creep, dude. You're either cross between like ripped old jeans, like if they're like severely ripped, or I don't know, they just, if you just look grody, it's just like grody dirty. You know what I mean?
Thinking of creep, I think the answer's been staring us in the face the whole time. It's the fedora, without a doubt. Like no non-creepy person has ever, like, if it is past 1930 and you're wearing a fedora on your head, you are a giant creep, dude. Like no one is wearing a fedora nowadays.
You're not Pitbull.
Exactly, right.
You probably look like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. Though I was at a bar, maybe I want to say like a year ago, and there was a dude wearing a fedora at the bar, and I'm like, this is the weirdest dude. I know nothing about him, but I already know he's the weirdest dude I've ever come in contact with in my life. So much so that I still remember this guy I never talked to. I just remember him wearing a fedora like it was a normal thing. Like that's something humans would do in this world. It is maddening to me.
I would think that dudes who are like I maybe guess our age and like they're still dressed like the Jersey Shore.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
That's a good one. Yeah, if I walk in there and it smells like you like showered in like Armani, yeah, like
or just drowning in cologne, like guys that you can smell like 30 feet away before they even come up to you. Like, what is that stench?
Yeah, like god damn, don't light a match.
Right, the whole place is gonna go.
This place is gonna go up. So maybe some more. Oh, dude. There's a creep I know. He has his hair turned back, and I know this for a fact. He's a creep because he's just a horrible husband. He never even. I don't even think that he should have been married to her to begin with. I don't know. Just not my opinion. But anyways, yeah, he's got his like hair tied back, uh, and then like he just has like that. He's just like super like skinny and scrawny, and he wears like a beanie hat, and he wears it like really low and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's just and like and then he's like the big earlobe. The what are they?
The
What are,
gauges.
yeah, the gauges, and then
Yeah.
like, and then he's just like always with this other girl, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you have a wife,
Yeah.
like that to me is like a
That's
creep
creep
thing.
behavior. Well,
Yeah,
for
like
sure. Yeah.
yeah, because it's like, dude, you're not single and you're trying to act like you're cool and like dressing single and stuff, and it's just like, dude, you're a married man. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you having a midlife crisis?
Maybe.
Like,
Maybe.
and then like, I don't know. I always got like I could always pick up like good vibes. I can always pick up good vibes and bad vibes. Whenever I have a bad vibe, I'm usually pretty right.
Yeah.
And I'm a very charismatic person. I can very read people pretty good,
Yeah.
and I'm a very kind person too. Like I like everybody, but when you like rub me wrong, like I'm just like I don't know about this cat.
Well, I don't like everyone, but that's why we work well
I
together,
know
Mike.
we're definitely not like George Costanza, where he needs to have everybody likes him.
Right.
I need
Exactly.
to know. I need to know why they don't like me.
Yep. That's not us one bit.
But hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for us. I'm going to hand it over to Joe to close it off, and be in tune. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be in tune next week. We're going to do our Thanksgiving Day special, and we're going to talk about some hunting. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Joe.
All right. Thank you guys, everyone, for hanging out at the home bar. Again, like Mike said, we'll see you next week with our Thanksgiving special. See you then.